Got a question here that I want to answer. Cameron Drowley's asking, Ted, is political cartooning dying? Who do you still respect in the field? It's absolutely dying. I would say it's dead. When I got into this in the early 90s, I was syndicated in 1991. There were 1,200 full-time editorial cartoonists in the United States.
1,200?
Today, there are 8. Okay? So it's finished. There are, 20 or 30 sort of freelancers who, they get their work out there here and there. But really, that's about it. I mean, Joel Pett's still doing good work. I like Jack Ullman's work. There's a lot of several others. Kevin Gallagher just got fired from the Baltimore Sun. He's good. But I mean, the thing is, and the cartoonist who I look at, though, who is the guy who I'm like, that guy's smarter than me, and I wish I was as good as him, is Reuben Bowling. His real name is Ken Fisher. He does a comic called Tom the Dancing Bug, and it is always so damn smart. And I'm like, I hate you.
How about Tom Tomorrow? Do you read him?
I used to. We were both in a lot of the same papers together. In fact, we both used to get confused for each other because Ted Rall, Tom Tomorrow, we both worked in 4-panel format, black and white, right. Both progressive. So of course, obviously, he's a very important cartoonist. I always thought he was too wordy. And I always thought, and I never really liked the look of it. And after a certain time, the thing about, for me, the judge is, am I going to be surprised? Like if with Reuben Bowling, I never know what he's going to do, and there's probably going to be something funny and crazy in it. That's the judgment for me. But like Tom Tomorrow, I feel like if I miss it, no big deal. Dan, if you're watching, that's his real name.
I love it.
Sorry,
I love it. He used to write to me when I was in prison, and he did a comic about me, and then he sent me a copy, which was very generous. I have it framed in my den.
He is he is a nice guy. And it's many times I always thought, like, well, we might become friends and hang out, and then we just never do. It's like unrequited friendship, like the bromance, the one-way bromance.
Right.
But he's like 1 year older than me, I think, and This Modern World that's right. Is his name.
This Modern World. Love it.
Get Your War On is David Reese. That stopped a long time ago. It was clip art comic. You used to get criticized, not by me, about that fact, but it was a very classic Bush administration era. If you really are interested in those kind of comics, I edited this series of books called Attitude, and basically they're interviews and sample cartoons, and with alternative, like, weekly cartoonists. It's from 2002, 04, and 6, and you can get them on eBay for very little. And anyway, you can get a really good sense of the kind of stuff that I like and the kind of people that I like.
Excellent.
So,
where did we meet, Ted? We met when you came on the show that Brian Becker and I were doing in 2017.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And Brian's still going strong, right?
Going strong with the socialist program. I point at Brian as an example of what I hope we can accomplish all the time. I ran into Brian. Well, it's been a little while now. February was the last time I saw him. He spends so much time in New York. I don't get to see him much in Washington anymore. But I saw him at a counter inauguration event with Angela Davis and a couple of other people, and he's doing very, very well with his podcast. When we lost our jobs at actually, I had left Sputnik briefly. I ended up going back, but when our show was shut down at Sputnik back in 2020, he did a GoFundMe to raise $5,000 just for some sound equipment, a decent camera, and a microphone. And that's how he started the socialist program. And now it's a monster. He's making more money than he's ever made in his life.
That's so great. Ironically, considering the subject.
He's a communist. Yeah.
So we've got like a couple of questions over from the Rumble feed. We don't want to feel like you guys are left out.
Absolutely.
Rebellious Rainbow Unicorn wants to know, is Ali Mortada still alive? I don't know who that is. Do you?
No, I sure don't.
So, okay, someone needs to chime in and
I
explain.
apologize.
And then AIPAC test dummy, love that name, was October 7th enabled by Israel so they could light a backfire to Gaza and Iran. I think there's something there. I think they knew it was 100%. They knew it was coming.
I agree.
They had all, the Hamas posted the videos of them practicing like months ahead of time on the internet.
Right. Yes,
so, I mean, unless the Mossad doesn't look at Facebook or X, I don't think that they could have missed it, or Instagram. And then when it happened, and this blows me away, and you probably shouldn't just take my word for it, but go look at the New York Times or the Washington Post. On October 7th, the response time to some of these kibbutzim was 7.5 hours. Now, there's no place in Israel that is 7.5 hours away from any other place in Israel. It is a small country. You can drive with traffic 4 hours maybe from diagonally across from one corner to another. It's the size of New Jersey. And so, 7.5 hours tells me they didn't want to come. Also, there was a smart fence, John. I mean, so what's the purpose of a smart fence? So it's like if you have a burglar alarm system in your house, and and someone breaks the window, well, the little electric thing gets broken, and it calls to your local police department and sets off an alarm. The cops know instantaneously that your window's been broken, and they can come out right away if they want. Well, if they want, the smart fence was breached by Hamas on October 7th. They didn't come. So they knew it was coming. They were like, I don't think they told Hamas to do it. I don't think they planned it. But I think they were like, this is going to be our great opportunity to build greater Israel. And to annex Gaza.
That was it. First of all, thank you, John McGuire, very much for that. Appreciate your generosity. Ted, I couldn't agree more. And remember, this weak half excuse that came out from the Israeli government in the days after October the 7th, the excuse was that, well, we knew something was coming, but Smotrich and Ben-Gvir told us it was going to be in the West Bank. We didn't know it was going to come from Gaza. We know that's not true because settlers along the line with Gaza were reporting for months that there was training underway. And then remember, in the days before October 7th, Hamas sent balloons over as a test. And still the Israelis did nothing. So that tells me that, of course, the Israelis knew it was coming. And why would they want it to happen? So that they could launch their drive for greater Israel. Yes.
I'm 100% convinced. A couple of questions. Instead of printing news publications with cartoons, there should be a publication of only cartoons. I bet it would sell. It's been tried a few times. There was something called Comic Relief, which ran for a number of years. It was really good. It was cartoons only. There's the Santa Cruz Comic News, which probably still is in business out in California. And today there's still a long-running publication called Funny Times out of Cleveland, Ohio. But it's not enough. I mean, the reason these places survive is because they only pay reprint fees. And if you want a professional cartoonist, someone who gets up in the morning and basically lives and breathes and thinks about cartoons every day and produces a cartoon like close to every day, that's not going to do it. So, I mean, the real answer, in my opinion, is to convince news online websites like CNN.com, MSNBC.com, Axios.com, and all these places that are basically the successors to legacy media to start running cartoons, and not just political cartoons. Cameron wants to know, how do journalists get into a war zone? What's the preparation like?
Oh, it's different from the way I got in. I got in business class.
Yeah, it's not the same. So technically, I mean, it's pretty funny. You're basically going, it depends. You try to get permission as much as you can, but sometimes you can't. So, for example, I covered the 2014 Israeli invasion of Gaza, right? And to get in there, I looked into whether you could go in through Israel. The border was closed and the Israelis wouldn't give you any permission. But then I was like, Egypt, go through the tunnels. And so I crossed, Egypt was easy to get into, but then arriving in on the Hamas side, I didn't have a visa. Hamas does issue visas, or at least they used to.
What?
always fun to get that stamp. That attracts all sorts of attention in interesting places. So it was a government, and so, but I got Hamas but I arrived, I explained myself. Obviously, I wasn't the only media person, but they check you out too. Like, who are you online? And, okay, this guy's legit. He's okay. And then they let you in. So it always depends. Afghanistan this is a good story. So in 2001, I was dying to get over there right away, after the bomb started falling on October 4th. And I went all over the place to people who didn't have anyone there, various TV stations, networks, newspapers, and I got turned down for a variety of reasons. And finally, I went to the Village Voice where I was on staff, and I was like, guys, I'll cobble it together. I'll do like a little bit of radio with KFI radio and send me over there. They're like, no, we have a guy. He's going in. He's on a U.S. Navy battleship in the Indian Ocean. And I'm like, you're aware of the fact that Afghanistan is a landlocked country, right? Like, your guy's is on a naval vessel. He's not going in. It's like, oh, really? You think you know better? I'm like, I know better. And so then they're like, okay, well, never mind, Ted. We have another guy. He's going to go in through Pakistan, through the Khyber Pass. And I'm like, the first thing the Pakistanis do when there's trouble is they shut that Khyber Pass.
You bet
no one's
they do.
going in there. So I'm like, Tajikistan is the way. So like I convinced them. They're like, okay, you want to take your shot. I flew to Dushanbe, but it's basically all catch as catch can. You arrive there, you have to get a special permission from the Tajik government, as you find out, to go to the trouble zone, which is 100 kilometers away from the Afghan border. Then you have to figure out how to cross that border. I was going to take a chopper. Now the chopper's not flying because it's which was going to the Northern Alliance capital of Faisalabad.
Right.
That chopper wasn't going because of fog in the mountains. So then you're just like, okay, we'll go over land. Got to hire someone to go over land. Then you have to you're bringing tons and tons of cash, and that's the most nerve-wracking part.
Yeah,
because you're walking around with at least $50,000 to $100,000 in $100 bills in a place where $20 is a life-changing amount of money. So you're a walking ATM in a place where everyone's got guns and they're desperate and they're hungry and they're pissed off. So yeah, it's like basically.
And you don't know if they are willing to let you bribe them for $20 or if they're going to kill you for the whole 50.
No, that's right. That's exactly right. You don't know anything that's going to happen. I can't tell you how many times I had to talk my way out of being murdered. You sort of lose track after a while, and you're like quoting from the Quran, and you're like, you offer, the Quran requires you as a good Muslim to give sanctuary to the unarmed traveler. And then like, are you Jewish or are you a good Muslim? And they're like, hey, I'm a good Muslim. Really? Because you're acting like a Jew. And then like, I mean, you say anything that you need to get through a situation like that. Mm-hmm. But then there's hotel wars, which are like Bosnia was a hotel war. You stayed at like a nice hotel, drive out to the front, make it back to the hotel by happy hour, easy peasy, 4 stars. Yep. So it really, really depends. You could do a whole show just on that.
Man, that's a rough life.
And I think I'm too old for it. I realized when I was in my 50s, like you're not going to have the instincts for it. No. Once you get over like say 52, 53.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tough life.
All right. So Ali Mortada, his famous greeting, "Hello, my enemies." He was pretty funny. Is he the comedian, the stand-up comic guy? Oh, Oddball Comic. Okay, so thank you, John McGuire, for your generous donation. Oddball cartoon question. Have you ever put one of your cartoons into the new AI image to video creators to see what it does to it? Yes, I have. And did it
steal it from you?
It tried. So I have a very simple drawing style. And one of the things that nobody knows is that simple drawing styles are harder to replicate than complicated drawing styles. Ooh. So because like, if you just think about like Charlie Brown, there's like maybe 7 or 8 lines that make Charlie Brown's face. Each line has to be really perfect. Otherwise, the whole thing's fucked up. But if you draw something that's like full of cross-hatching, like the mistakes can cancel each other out. So AI is like very simplistic, and it doesn't know what to do, and it doesn't get the lines right. So it basically, there's no other way to put it. It makes it look like a retard's been drawing it. And
that's
so like,
great.
Everything's off and weird. It's going to get better. And I'm dying for it to get better. I want to use it to be able to produce a cartoon like 5 seconds after I hear about a news story and get it out there right away, because that does better. I'm not at all against new technology, because it's going to happen whether I'm against it or not.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm sure it's it might be for either of us. I was not at the Battle of Tora Bora. How were you?
No, I arrived 2 months after Tora Bora. But that's why I went. I went to clean up the remnants of Tora Bora, and we had some real success. Yeah, so just as an aside,
cleaning up, you mean you're scavenging for evidence and information and stuff that's left behind,
and grabbing people that were a little too slow to get away from us. I have a, you know what? I'll bring it for the next show. I have a giant chunk of raw lapis lazuli that I took from Osama bin Laden's house.
That's awesome.
I like to think it was his paperweight.
It probably was.
I think it probably was, but I took it and I still have it. It's magnificent.
Do you have any of his videos? Apparently he had quite the video.
No, but you know what though? I went on a show. I never say no to reporters from Pittsburgh, right? So I went on KDKA TV2. They have a local Meet the Press after the national Meet the Press. So it's what was his name? I forget his name. Anyway, he was the host and the editor-in-chief of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette was the other questioner. And so the Meet the Press guy, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette guy was not the friendliest guy in the world. And he used to kind of zing me every once in a while. So he said to me, how surprised were you that there was so much porn on Osama bin Laden's computers? And I think he wanted to make me blush or whatever. And I said, oh, it's funny. The night that we killed him, a friend of mine from the CIA called me and said, how much porn you think is on that computer? And I said, dude, are you kidding? It's going to all be porn. And then, of course, it was all porn.
A guy with 4 wives.
Yeah, a guy with 4 wives. And I said to him, when you live in such a repressive culture and you get internet access and nobody else is in the room, you look at porn.
I always say that, right? You ever notice it's in when there's a sex scandal in Britain, it's never a Labour MP that they find hanging from the ceiling with a red ball in his mouth. It's always a Tory. Always.
So they looked at each other, and then the one guy says to the other, I think this is the first time that I've done this show in 25 years that I've actually been speechless.
John got an ad. Quick pause to tell you about Pickaxe, the creator and user-first platform built for people, not algorithms. You know what big tech is up to. Data mining, bot-driven feeds, black box AI deciding who sees your work. Instead, Pickaxe hands you an algorithm-free chronological feed with native Rumble playback, auto-publishing of your live streams, free blue check verification, and full monetization control. Your voice, your rules. Best of all, this web version is live right now, and their iOS and Android apps drop next month. On Pickaxe, your Rumble videos play seamlessly right in your feed as if they were built into the platform. No embeds, no workarounds, just smooth native playback. Even better, in beta now, creators can connect their Rumble channel to Pickaxe to automatically post live streams and videos so your followers never miss a moment. You can also write full articles directly on Pickaxe today, and later this year you'll be able to blast them out as email newsletters with one click and build up your own email list for direct audience access. Monetize on your terms through paywalls, revenue sharing, or affiliate ads that auto-insert promo codes and tracking links. And because bots shouldn't steal your spotlight, Pickaxe hands you a free blue check so everyone knows it's really you. Pickaxe is building tech that builds up humanity, algorithm-free, noise-free, human-first. Head to pickaxe.com, sign up, and take your platform to the next level. Real voices deserve a real home. By the way, I'm on it. Okay, so
you know what? I am too. As of last night,
I like it. I like it.
It's a neat site. Good. Yep, I agree.
Okay, so I got it. We got to talk about MTG. That lady, she's making some money. So before she went into Congress, not that long ago, her net worth was officially 700 grand. That's basically where Bernie Sanders was. It's basically like, one or two decent houses. Now her net worth is $22 million. She's had many stock transactions before Trump's tariff pause. She's saying basically nothing to see here. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking about this. Go away. Be quiet. Probably not the best look for her. But if I were her, I'd say, hey, come and look at my records if you've got a problem with me. Otherwise, shut up.
I understand she comes from money. But, there are exchange traded funds, mutual funds that track, for example, Nancy Pelosi's investments.
Yeah.
Which ought to be, everybody on Capitol Hill should have blind trusts. Nobody should be actively investing in anything.
Right. Or they should be forced to divest from everything.
Yeah.
Collect your 0.4% savings interest like everyone else.
Oh, thank you, Starlion. I appreciate that. I'm trying my best. Ted and I both. This is a tough gig, especially at our age.
It's true. Like, I feel like I'm trying to reinvent myself.
I know, right?
I mean, the fun thing is, actually, I do like it. It's not like it's an ordeal or anything. I mean, this is a fun thing to do. I really look forward to the show.
I do too.
So it's definitely like a highlight of my day.
Same here. And we're gonna be going every day soon.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
That's the plan, right? By the way, apropos of that, Wednesday, I'm traveling back from Montana. So we're doing it on Thursday this week. So it's Monday, Thursday, Friday this week. No show on Wednesday. So that's that. Yeah, it has like 5 shows. I have 3. The DMZ show with Scott Stantis is once a week. And then there's the TMI show also. Anyway, so... Yeah. Starlion says, never cared about political cartoons. Still haven't looked into them, honestly. Well, that only means that Starlion's probably under 60 years of age. Only old people look at them. But they're such a great format, or at least potentially they can be. Anyway, so MTG, is there anything to see here? Is this smoke? And if so, is that fire?
I understand that she comes from money, so I don't know. I don't want to point the finger, but I will say when I worked for John Kerry, and you know how much John Kerry has, people
mostly from his wife.
Well, people think that, and a half or a little more than half came from his wife, but he was independently wealthy before her. He comes from a very long line of money. He comes off as this good Irish Catholic. And he only discovered that he was Irish as an adult. His people came over on the Mayflower. He just happens to have like one Irish branch of the family, and it just happens to be his surname. But he's worth about $750 million, and he didn't give a shit what people thought about that. He didn't care. I mentioned a couple of shows ago that he bought a yacht. But it wasn't even a yacht. It was like this major ocean-going ship. And to save himself the yacht tax, he docked it in Rhode Island because they don't have a yacht tax in Rhode Island. They have one in Massachusetts. And people just, practically took to the streets. We were getting hundreds of calls and nasty emails and letters. And I said to the staff director, a really good guy who actually is a member of the Kennedy family, I said, this is a really bad look. The guy's got all the money in the world. Just pay the fucking tax. And it took him about 2 weeks, but he finally got around to it and he paid the tax and moved the boat to Massachusetts. But these rich people, they're all the same. They're so afraid you're gonna chisel $100 from them or something. And God knows they don't want to pay their taxes.
No, that's the thing that drives them absolutely nuts. Nick's asking any upcoming guests. Also, Houdini's asking, are we to talk about Putin? Yes, we are in about 60 seconds. So guess next Thursday, I think it is. I'm not sure if it's this Thursday or next Thursday. We've got a expert coming on to talk about sanctions and their whether they're effective or not, and what their actual effect is on civilians in the countries upon which they're imposed. All right, I think we do need to talk about Putin and Trump. So they're meeting, I guess, this Friday in Alaska, in Anchorage. And they're going to be obviously talking about Ukraine. There's some concern or question as to whether Zelensky might also be invited to make it a three-way. I don't think Zelensky will get the invite. I don't think it makes any sense.
I don't either. It doesn't make any sense because Trump hasn't had time to bully him yet.
Right.
What it comes down to is Trump floated this idea. Well, if we let you just keep all of the Ukrainian territory that you've seized, is that good enough? And Putin said yes, apparently. And nobody thought to say anything to Zelensky.
Oops.
Yeah. But I mean, Ted, we've all said from the very beginning, we all knew it was going to turn out this way, that the Russians get Donbass and Crimea. The Ukrainians can't join NATO, but they get a fast track into the EU. And then, we all call it even. And I'm sorry if, this is painful and difficult for the Ukrainians, but the only other choice, the only alternative is to just keep fighting the Russians, and then you're going to end up losing your entire country at the end of the day.
I mean, that is true. And Trump had a funny remark, as he often does, about Zelensky. He said, Zelensky says he can't do anything, he can't give up any territory without getting constitutional approval. And he's like, Zelensky seems to not need any constitutional approval to go around killing everybody and keeping the war going on forever. Fair point.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think Zelensky has led his country to disaster. Even if we stipulate that post Metternich and the era of the nation state, that no country can invade another country, and that's just taboo. We can stipulate that, but it doesn't change the fact that when you have a very powerful and wealthy neighbor who right next on your doorstep, you don't fuck with them, and it's like if you're Luxembourg, you don't tell France to go fuck itself. And that's what Ukraine did to, basically saying we can do whatever we want. We're going to blow up, we're going to kill Russian minorities in the East. We're going to, if we want to join NATO, we will. Nothing you can do about it. We're going to depose, the Russian friendly president that was democratically elected and get rid of him and ask the Americans for help doing it. I mean, Putin got pissed off. It's not surprising.
He sure did. Thank you, Tarek. Yeah, Somaliland. Can I talk about Somaliland for a minute?
Please do.
Somaliland has been seeking independence and, more importantly, recognition for so long. Yeah, 30 years. 30 years they've been looking for recognition. They have said all the right things. They have done all the right things. They have nothing to do with whatever pseudo government happens to be in power or quasi power in Mogadishu. The U.S. has met with them on both official and unofficial bases. I told you I went to Somaliland in, I think it was 2011. I went with the American ambassador in Djibouti, the defense attaché, and the director of embassy security. The thing is that in the White House, they're just not interested in this. And it's painful because these people really want to develop. They really want to do the right thing. They want to have good friends and a steady foreign policy. And they see that the success that the Djiboutians are having in terms of building and expanding their port. They love the fact that there are both Americans and Chinese there. They really want to emulate what the Djiboutians have done. And nobody takes them seriously.
Let's talk about what's going to happen at that summit. We know yes, I agree with you. We know where this war is going to end. The question is it going to be ending soon? I mean, what is Putin going to be asking for? What's Trump going to want? What's going to be the outcome? Is anything significant going to get done, in one day? Right. I'm curious about that with these two very long-winded men.
Not
well,
true.
actually, that's not fair. Trump's not long-winded in person, but Putin is.
Putin is. I can't imagine that anything solid develops in a day. Somebody mentioned Odessa as well. By all accounts, Odessa is safe for the Ukrainians, that the Russians apparently don't even have designs on it. They just said that they did in order to increase pressure on the Ukrainians. But no, I don't think anything is going to be definitively solved, especially when half of the warring parties aren't represented. And so I think what Trump has to do is get to Putin's bottom line. Now, Trump said something the other day that he may or may not have made up. And what it was that Russia keeps the territory, Ukraine joins NATO. It's like, wait a minute, Putin's not said that publicly, and you're just announcing that?
That does sound new.
Yeah, it's very, very new.
Putin agreeing to that.
No, but that's what Trump announced when he said that he and Putin were going to meet in Anchorage on Friday.
I took note of that.
So, I mean, I think we should train ourselves to not expect anything.
No, agreed.
There's going to have to be a meeting in, Geneva or Vienna or whatever, or Reykjavik or whatever.
Trump wants this done now.
Done.
Yesterday.
Yes.
And I don't know if Putin is, he's showing up. It's good that these two guys are sitting down. I think in the end, they're going to let Zelensky sit at the kids' table and tell him what's what at the end.
I think that is exactly what we should expect. Yes.
So Houdini's asking, if Russia keeps the territory gained, will there be an insurgency in those territories? Certainly not in Crimea.
No, certainly not in Crimea.
Could there be in, say, the western part of the Donbass? I doubt it.
I suppose anything is possible, but I don't see it happening. No.
And then
it's too heavily Russian.
No, I disagree with Eric's saying Trump just wants a frozen conflict. I totally disagree with that.
Yeah,
Trump wants a peace. He wants an armistice. He wants a peace deal. He wants to. That's what he gets to go to Geneva and ask for that for. Nick's asking, John, do you think Putin has his eyes on Transnistria?
Deep down, I think yes, but I think that he realizes it would be foolhardy to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Also, John, Transnistria serves like an important function for smuggling.
Yes, yes, indeed.
It's kind of like this no man's land. Like what happens in Transnistria stays in Transnistria. Yeah. Everything gets
otherwise,
smuggled through
how
there.
are you going to get stuff to Moldova and to Romania without Transnistria?
Especially with sanctions.
Especially,
I think if I were Putin, I'd leave the Transnistrians alone.
I agree.
By the way, they still have a Soviet flag. How cool is that?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Crazy.
Houdini wants to know if they're meeting, doesn't it mean that a deal was already made? I'd say that's what it used to mean.
Under normal circumstances, yes. Under Donald Trump, I don't think so.
No, I think they have to sit down, and they do have to do this, mano a mano.
Yeah, they do.
Kharkiv, is that a Russian city?
I think it's going to be now, if it isn't already. It's pretty well split, but I think it's essentially going to be a Russian city.
How safe is Putin once the war ends? He's used the war to get rid of a lot of oligarchs and powerful government figures.
Yeah. There
will be grudges. Russians know about grudges. They're good at grudges. They do grudges well.
Yeah, that's right.
But are they going to try to kill Putin? He'd have to be really weakened before I think he'd be vulnerable.
And you know what they say, if you're going to kill the king, you better kill him on the first try.
Yeah, that's right. Do you see Russia starting more wars like after Ukraine, like the left's narrative says? Absolutely not.
No, I don't either.
No. Is Macron serious about going to? No. Il m'emmerde. The only way to get to Transnistria is by train.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
That's funny. Yeah, I've wanted to go to the Transnistria. My last graphic novel had I studied a lot about the Transnistria and researching it. So that's why I know a little bit about it. Oh, man. All right. So
I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted too. We're going to cover this. So on Thursday, we'll be back to see, it'll be the day before the summit. We'll know a lot more. Well, certainly, and I guess that Trump's experiment in direct DC governance will have come to an exciting, thrilling conclusion. I hope there's no rioting or anything between now and then. If I
tell you what, I fear for
the few days.
That's right. I fear for the homeless population over these coming days. I really do.
Question about your book. When does your
I don't know, man.
coming out?
I sent a threatening email to my publisher saying it's time to fish or cut bait. This book was supposed to be out. I sent them the draft of this book 3 years ago, April. 3 years ago, April. So I've had enough of waiting. I'll let you know as soon as I hear. I'm tired of this.
And I think we'll make this the last question for today. What do we think about Chechnya's leader being MIA? What about the succession with his teenage son?
I don't know anything about it.
Chechnya is it's like a sort of micro North Korea inside of the Russian Federation. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I remember reading, what was this book? It was The History of Warfare by John Keegan. And he argued that the Chechnyans are the most ferocious warriors on the planet, completely indomitable, totally insane.
I met a Russian soldier once. Where was I? Was it in Baghdad? Anyway, no, it wasn't in Baghdad. It was in Manama in Bahrain. And he told me that the Chechens were the only people on earth that he was afraid of.
That's cool. And when we're doing, just a reminder, the show goes to 5 days a week this coming Monday. So
that's right.
Stay tuned.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Please follow, and share the show. We are always appreciative, and it really makes a difference. If you're watching us on YouTube, please strongly consider watching us either instead on Rumble or supplementally on Rumble at the same time. It makes a huge difference for us. Thanks so much for all the donations. You can, John, do you have a website?
I do. It's johnkiriakou.com.
And I'm TedRall.com. So easy. All right. And with that, we're going to say goodbye until Thursday. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.